Hey guys, Hedgeman54 here. Here to give you another commentary on a Starcraft 2 beta game that I played fairly recently. So, in this game, it's on a two-player map. I forget the name, and I'm playing as Blue Zerg in the southwest corner. And in the top right, we have my opponent. What a surprise! Another Protoss player. And being this that I'm facing a Protoss player on a two-player map, I'm primarily worried about defense at the start. So I go for my 10 drone spawning pool to try and get a queen and maybe some spine crawlers out early. And I'm sending my overlord out to the Protoss base because that's typically where overlords are the safest versus Terran or other Zerg, because Terran obviously get Marines out early, and Zerg have the Queens that can attack air. So if you have your Overlord there, they'll probably die pretty quick. Now at this point, he sent his probe out, and I see him, and I'm like, oh god, what is he going to do? Is he going to build a pylon or something? And then I see him leave into the corner of my base, so I'm like, okay, he's probably building something over there. So I'm building an Overlord that, let me speed it up, that I'm going to send out to check it out, and of course he is building a pylon. But he's not going to build a gateway. Once I get my Overlord there, I see he's actually building a photon cannon. So that I'm like, okay, this guy is basically tower rushing me. If you guys have played Warcraft, you know what that means. You just start building a bunch of towers in the enemy base and basically use that as like kind of a base where you can send your units and slowly encroach on the enemy base, just building towers. So to stop that encroachment, I start building spine crawlers near the edge of my creep, so he won't get any closer. And yeah, finally get my queen out, and I keep building more spine crawlers. And I build a roach den or a roach warren, and he builds over here. Attack his pro first, and I start attacking his pylon. Now I wouldn't have been able to DPS that down, but he canceled it anyway, so I guess I got lucky on that part. But yeah, he builds a gateway. Strangely enough, he never actually uses it in this game. I'm not really sure why. If I were him, I would have, you know, maybe pumped some zealots out and attacked my spine crawlers, because I don't even know if I had enough to counter that at this point. But okay, I get my Overlord in his base, and he has nothing but a forge. So it's very vulnerable. So my thinking is, okay, I'm gonna pump out a bunch of roaches, get a Nidus network, and basically just drop it in his base and, you know, take out his main base. So all he'll have is his cannons left. So that's my thinking at this point. I figured he might be maybe teching to air, which turns out is what he does. Yeah, he builds a cannon in his base, and I wasn't paying attention, so I lose my Overlord. Kind of pisses me off, but oh well. So I got more spine crawlers up. He's still not using his gateway. He actually doesn't have that many cannons, only 4 cannons. I probably could have just built a bunch of roaches and taken them out, but I didn't really want to risk it at this point. I couldn't see how many cannons he had, and I didn't really want to, you know, go find out. Alright, so I finally teched a tier 2, and let me rewind that for you. Wait. Yeah, I got his probe. Little bastard. Alright. Let's see. At this point I'm just building inside my base. I'm building a bunch of roaches. And then I send my Overlord up here, because I'm going to build my Nidus network around here behind the grass, because this grass basically blocks the field of vision, or, you know, causes fog of war. Even if, like, you have units over here, you won't be able to see units over here. So that's kind of useful. But so yeah, I end up building the Nidus network over here and just pop a bunch of roaches out. There it goes. There go the roaches. And I send him to his main base, and he's building an expansion here, and I see it as I'm going by, but I'm not too concerned with that. I want to take out his main base, his main source of income first. When I get here, I see the 2 Stargates, one of them building, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't have any anti-air at this point. All I have is my roaches, but I figure I can take out his Nexus before he can do anything. And then he pops the Void Ray out and runs all his probes down to his new expansion. So I just focus down the Nexus. Nothing I can do about the Void Ray. Get that down. And then I figure, okay, I'll just go attack his expansion now. And lucky for me, the pathing, I don't know what happened, but all his, like half his probes went right into my roaches, so I just decimated them. And he's still, you know, bothering me with his Void Ray. And I start focusing down his Nexus, but I don't have enough roaches to get it down all the way before his Void Ray. Well, he has 2 now before the Void Rays kill me. So I built a Hydralisk den back in my base to counter the Void Rays, and I have the Spore Crawler. Oh, I only have 1 up. You need an evolution chamber to get Spore Crawlers, by the way. He's not going to see my Nidus Worm, so I send 2 more roaches to go harass his expansion, but he's got Void Rays there waiting for me. So at this point I start pumping out Hydralisks. And yeah, he I don't know if you saw it, but he attacked some of my overlords with phoenixes, because he has a few phoenixes out. Yeah, there they are. They took out some of my overlords, so I have to build some more. But then yeah, I get 4 Hydralisks when he attacks my base with his 3 Void Rays. Managed to take 1 out. There it goes. So now at this point he's kind of like too afraid to try and attack my base, which is probably a good thing because he would have lost. And I send my Hydralisks out now to attack his expansion, because I figure he only has air at this point, and I could probably take out Void Rays pretty easily with my Hydralisks. And Phoenixes can attack ground air unless they use their Graviton Beam. And even then it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. So yeah, he has his damage, or his Nexus is damaged, so I take that out real quick. At this point he has no source of income because he's still building his other Nexus. So there's not much he can do. Probably doesn't have too many minerals either. And he lost all his probes, so he pretty much just quits at that point. And there he goes. Dead. That's why you don't cannon rush, folks.